Enjoy the taste of summer no matter what the weather when you head to Maverick for some Mountain Dew Baja Blast. You'll love the legendary, refreshing tropical lime flavor. And to make the sweetness last longer, Maverick now has it in 1-liter bottles. For a limited time, get 2 for $5. Single purchase regular price. Plus, Adventure Club members get 25 bonus trail points with purchase. So blast into Maverick today and enjoy that unmistakable Baja flavor. Maverick, adventure's first stop.
The mighty and resilient Merrimack River, carving through the communities of our great region. My name is Linda Lorden, proud president of Merrimack County Savings Bank. And like the river that serves as our namesake, we're a constant yet ever-changing presence. Because to us, it's bigger than banking. It's about powering communities and putting people first. It's about knowing where you came from and where you're going. That's Merrimack style. Visit us at themerrimack.com.
Welcome to the Old Souls and Seekers podcast, a podcast that transcends the typical personal development journey. You're not new to this. You've read the books, attended the seminars, and perhaps even tried various coaching programs, yet something still feels amiss. Elon and Guy have over 2 decades of relentless searching and $1 million invested in their personal growth quest. Here's the revelation. You're not missing anything. You're not even behind. You might have just been searching in the wrong places. In each episode, we'll uncover the most effective, straightforward practices that have profoundly impacted our lives and the tens of thousands of our clients from all over the world. This is about real, sustainable results for those dedicated to their personal and spiritual growth. So get ready to explore and enjoy the show. Hi, everybody. Welcome. If you guys are here, just let me know in the comment box, say hi. Also, if this is one of your first times here with us, would love to hear from you and give you a very special welcome and hi. So I'm solo here today. Guy's actually traveling this week. Guy's already in New York with my parents, and then Thursday, I'm leaving for Pennsylvania, and my son is having his actual bar mitzvah, not party, but like the bar mitzvah part this weekend. So we're going to get to see each other and be together as a family. So we just got there a little earlier. Awesome. So welcome, Ian, Annabelle, welcome, Martin, welcome, first time. Beautiful. Good to have you here. Ingrid, welcome as well. All right. I wanted to share with you something that's kind of been opening up for me more so this last, I'm going to call it a month. It might be a little bit shorter, but let's call it 2 to 4 weeks, something like that. And for those of you that are in our higher end program, like level 2, we have a whole, like one of the first things that people learn when they come into our higher level 2 program is about this part that we all have called the meddler. And the meddler is exactly what it sounds like. It's the part that we all have that loves to meddle with things, right? Like this situation, circumstance, something happens in a relationship, something happens in life. And there's this part that innately we all have that wants to just get in there into the weeds and really just start to make stuff happen, right? Because at the end of the day, when something happens that we like, do we meddle? Do any of you meddle with things that are working or things that you like? No, right? Those things were like, yay, I win. And if anything, what we're doing is we're trying to hold on to that energy, which I guess in a sense is, it's not meddling, but it has a similar energy. It's probably like the flip side of the same coin. It's what Buddhists talk about between attachment and aversion. So if something's really good and we get really attached, that energy of trying to hold on to something actually pushes it away. Okay. On the flip side, though, this specific meddling energy that we have is when something isn't working and it's something that we don't like, meaning the mind sees the circumstance and situation and it doesn't like it. And so the second the mind has decided that it doesn't like something, what do we go and do? And you guys just check in with me here in the comment box. How are you tracking this? Does this land? Do you feel like this shows up in your world as well? Where when something happens and you don't like the way it looks or the way the outcome is leading, you have this thing that just wants to get involved and fix it. I want to fix it, change it, make it stop, whatever it might be. Okay, so Zoe's saying I go into avoidance. So avoidance is slightly different than what I'm talking about. And I really want to make this distinction because avoidance is not surrender. It's not allowing. Avoidance is different. There's a different energy in avoidance. Avoidance is like you're kind of putting up this wall and you're like, I don't want to feel this. I don't want to see this. I don't want to experience this. Yeah. So Annabelle saying, yes, I unlearned to stay in uncomfortableness. Yeah. So that's really important. And I love that you brought that through, Zoe, because avoidance is very different than surrender, acceptance, allowing. Okay. So in acceptance, allowing, there's this energy of however things are in this current moment, I'm okay with. Avoidance is, I don't like how things are in this moment, so I'm just going to pretend like it's not here. But really, there's this part that knows that it's here, right? So it's like we kind of like turn away, but we're also going like this a little bit. So that's kind of the energy as I see it of avoidance. So thanks for bringing that through, because this is definitely not that. So something that I'm again, this is already recorded in one of our modules, right? And this was recorded a while back. The beauty of this work, and I was just telling this to the coaches, like the beauty of the work that we do here is that it is ever evolving, because it's not some concept or idea or process that we are taught here, or that, people that join us are engaged in. It's not that. You guys have plenty of ideas and concepts and processes already. You've read a bunch of books and watched a bunch of videos and invested in a bunch of digital programs. Like, you have plenty of that stuff. And that, while it might give you these like short spurts of aha moments where you're like, oh my God, I figured out life. 2 days later, a week later, whatever it might be, it's like, nah, I didn't figure out life. And here I am doing the exact same stuff that's been plaguing me for the last 10, 15, 20 years. So with this work, ultimately what we're doing is this. We are opening ourselves up. We actually get out of the mind space. We stop dealing with processing ourselves. We stop dealing with understanding why I am the way I am and when it happened and who was there when it happened. Like, we let go of all of that. And if you've done that work and it continues to work for you, then by all means, keep doing that work. I know I tried to do that work, and over a span of 15 years later, I was still dealing with stuff that I started with at the outset. And to me, that just didn't make sense, because I definitely felt like I was smarter. I understood how my brain works. All of it. I was just like, there has to be some other way. I'm not interested in learning or even understanding why I am the way I am. What I want is someone to actually show me how to move through this, like actually create the healing, create the liberation, create the freedom from these things that I've been trying to control, fix, overcome, or change for the last 15 years because that hasn't been working for me. And when we shifted into this, which this is what we've been doing ongoingly now for the last 8 years, for the first time ever in my life, I can say that the depth of lessons that I receive just keeps expanding. And the best part is this: I'm not doing anything different. It's the same practices that we literally teach people at our 2-day live event are the same practices that I'm still doing every single day for the last 8 years. Nothing's changed. We literally give you everything in that 2-day event. Like, there's nothing else you need. Learning how to find stability and safety in your nervous system, receiving support, doing mini practices and sitting with other, sitting in group fields, sitting with a one-on-one practitioner who can give you these templates. That's all I've been doing. I'm no longer searching for the next greatest book. In fact, I've stopped reading all personal development and spirituality books. They just don't interest me anymore. Because all of that stuff is someone else's answer, someone else's point of view. And you know what? I'm no longer interested in that. What I am interested in and what I want to deepen is my access to my truth, moment by moment by moment by moment. And the only way that we can do that is we have to first step out of the ordinary mind construct, stop amassing and collecting more information, learn to shift actually into our body. And in doing so, a healing begins to happen, right? And things naturally begin to move and release. And with that movement and that release comes something new, an openness to your connection to your higher self, to source, whatever you want to call it. And then that moment by moment, that connection moment by moment is what gives you your answer, your truth, your wisdom, your gift, moment by moment by moment by moment. And how cool would it be if you spent or invested a span of a year learning skill sets that you can continuously do for the rest of your life that will just keep getting better and richer and more profound and keep deepening experientially lessons like at a cellular level. That's what I kind of feel like has been happening this last month or so. I literally feel like this lesson, which I thought I knew, and I did to an extent, but it's this whole other level and experience of it. And it feels like it's being baked into every cell of my body. It's just, it's almost like the universe is like, drink this, like take it. So here's what's been happening. Life keeps sending me experiences where, and I'm sure you guys will all have this, where like something just goes completely haywire, either in my life, the life of others, but something just completely shifts. And what's happening is that like it happens and I'm watching the event happen and unfold in front of me. And then I'm noticing the part that wants to get, and I have a really good meddler, like really good. This one can fix almost anything. He's really, really good, like exceptionally good at fixing problems, my problems, other people's problems, etc. You imagine like 22 years roughly of, spirituality and personal development work. Like this fixer's got a lot of tools. He knows how to like navigate. So in any event, what I realize is it goes like this. The thing happens and the fixer just wants to jump in. And then this other, like this awareness thing that we work on to create comes in and goes, no, we're not doing that. And I'm like, okay, we're not doing that. And all of a sudden this part just kind of fizzles out. and goes into the background. And instead, I lean on all the practices that we do here, which is find stability, find ground, find safety, find spaciousness. And all of a sudden, I'm now observing the situation. And what's been showing up time and time and time again is this. Given enough time, everything works itself out. Now, the mind and the fixer meddler part fucking hates this. It wants things done yesterday, all the time. Everything needs to be already done. If it's slightly out of order, it's like, freaks out. And so now this awareness is basically sitting here and teaching me through my own experience. It's like, okay, relax, breathe, and let it go. Just surrender. Like, I got you. I got this. You don't need to get in there and mess with this. Let me show you what I can do. And this is the part that's like really amazing to me, because think about when this part, this fixer meddler, right, gets involved, it really believes, and see if you can track this along with me. See if you can feel how it actually believes like it's the only one that has the right answer. Like, you can't rely on anyone. No one else is going to save this. No one else is going to fix this. Like, if it doesn't do it, then we're fucked. No one else is going to do it. See if you can feel that energy. Oh, Suzanne, I'm just reading your comment. That's amazing. That's so cool. And so it literally believes like I'm the only one. And if I don't do something about this, then it's all going to go to shit, right? So now what this awareness is showing me, like, it's just, and I'll give you a few examples because honestly, they've just been wild. But it just keeps showing me, if you step out of the way and you let the universe, like, this part has a speckle of information and material and understanding to work with, okay? It can literally only see things in a very, very short window of time. What's in front of it? This, the thing that's holding the multiverse together, right, has way more of that access. So in doing so, it's not like we're avoiding, right? We're actually surrendering to the energy, the source that has been creating stars and planets and universes and animals and right, like the thing that creates all of it. We're basically saying like, okay, you know what? You take care of it. And there's something really, really, well, both difficult and rewarding in being able to do that. Because it is, I don't know about you, I'm a control freak. I'm sure some of you on here as well are control freaks. It is really difficult to relinquish control. And it's not even to someone else. This is like to a higher spirit, energy, etc. So it is like you can't even see this thing and you're releasing to it. And so I want to share with you just a few examples of things that have been happening in my life that keep proving to me time and time again that the more we can surrender and let go to this thing, the more your life will just effortlessly and easily begin to unfold and work. Yeah. So Stacy's saying, I'm a total control freak. I find it so hard to relinquish control. So I need to learn how to do it. Yeah. 3 children under 5. Yes. That's a lot. Okay. So I'm going to give you like a few experiences. JP says, I'm starting to let go of all things that don't serve me and my purpose. It's freeing me to focus on what's important, finally get complete peace. Yeah. So that's a piece of it, right? Like that's what JP is more pointing to, is like getting rid of the energy that we have around us that just sucks our energy or drains our energy or doesn't really serve us. This is a surrendering to whatever you want to call it, God, source, universe, higher power, your higher self, whatever it might be, but something way beyond us that doesn't live in the realm of time. Time is something that man created, right? In order to track certain things. We invented it. It does not exist in the grand scheme of the universe. Like, it does not exist. So nothing lasts forever. You've not been sad forever. You have not been angry forever. You have not been happy forever. You have not been abundant forever. Like, there's this ebb and flow that's constantly happening. But when we get attached to something, it actually keeps it locked in and working and stuck like that for longer. So exactly a week ago today, my daughter is a very good dancer, and she got into like the more advanced hip hop team. So she went from being like the rock star in the group before to this new group. She's the youngest girl there, or one of the youngest girls there. There's a lot of girls. She just went into 6th grade, and there's high school seniors in there, right? So, and these girls have been dancing as long as Aaliyah has, but like plus whatever it is, 6 years, right? So, and at this very high level. So for them, it's a class that they're familiar with, like they know the learning style, et cetera. And just to put things in perspective, where in the previous level, they would maybe learn 5 seconds of a dance in an hour and a half class. Here on the first class, they learn 40 seconds of this dance. And it's a lot faster, more technical, harder, et cetera. So you can imagine, like, it was a whirlwind for her. So I go to pick her up. This was last Tuesday evening. And I go to pick her up, and I'm like, so how was it? And she goes, just drive. We drive. And the second we start pulling out of the parking lot, she is just bawling. I mean, like sobbing, bawling uncontrollably. Now, to Zoe and to all the other parents out there, you know that when your little ones are in pain, hurt, anything, right? As a parent, you tell me, your first response is like, you just want to take care of everything. You just want to make all the pain stop. You want to make like all the hurt stop, all the confusion stop, whatever it is, right? Like, as a parent, we just want to go in there, and that part, the fixer, the meddler, just wants to get in there and fix it. And something in that moment was like, not the time. And so all I did, we had about a 15-minute drive home. All I did was I put my hand on her, and I just was with her. I just let her know, I'm really sorry that you had that experience, and I just want to let you know I'm here. And I just kept repeating that. I'm here. Is there anything else you want to share? I'm here. And she's distraught, and I can feel again, I have a lot of training, so I can feel and track other people's nervous systems. So I can feel embarrassment. I can feel all her stuff of like, I'm not good enough, kicking up, which, by the way, my daughter is actually very similar to me in character style. So like, this is very similar to how I was. And she basically says, I want to quit. Like, I don't want to dance anymore. That was the worst experience in my life. Like, I'm not going back. You can't make me, etc. Now, everything inside of me wanted to justify and explain to her, like, it was the first dance class, and like, it's going to get better, and blah, blah, blah. Like, I wanted to do all that. And that would have made sense. But something said, do not do that. Just be with her. And I was like, okay. So I come home, and sure enough, now like my wife sees that she's upset, and my wife's part kicks in, and she wants to like help and solve and do all this stuff. And I'm like, time out, not the time, right? Like she can't hear you. She's just in her world of process. So we sit at dinner. She's relaying this message. My wife wants to get in there. I'm like, no, don't do that. She goes upstairs. She's, going through her process. During that time, the teacher and my wife actually get on a call together. Like my wife picked up to find out what happened. And literally at the same time, like the teacher called. And apparently Aaliyah left the class and told her that she was puking. So the teacher was just calling to check in on her. And so when she had her on the phone, she's like calling and she's saying, okay, this has happened, blah, blah, blah. And the teacher's like, no, she was great in class. She's like, I was in the class, I was watching. She's like, if someone's off and like doesn't fit or isn't working, like I'm going to talk to them. She goes, I didn't even notice her. Like she was with the team. Like she was doing great. She's like, and if she wasn't, we would have had a conversation, but like, she's a rock star. She cannot quit. She doesn't belong in the lower level. Like she's way beyond that, et cetera. So we hear all this stuff. So we're like, okay, at least, Aaliyah's experience and this teacher's experience, very, very different. So we get that. So now the next day comes. And again, like she's still in the process. She still doesn't want to do it, et cetera. And at this point, my wife and her are like really getting into it. And it's very interesting. I just want to say as a side note, like, I think a mom and daughter relationship is a very unique and interesting relationship in that I find that the mom and daughter end up reliving their daughter-mother relationship, but now like the other way around. And it's very interesting. So anyway, my son couldn't even be there because they were like yelling at each other. Nothing was being heard, etc. And the whole time I'm just kind of like, I'm like, I want to get involved. Everything in that part is like, you can get involved. You can put your foot down. Da, 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 da. And I was like, I'm not doing any of that. I'm just not. Just going to sit here. So at the end of all of this, Aaliyah goes back up to her room. It kind of ends, this and that. And then part of the conversation was that there's an opportunity to connect with like an older girl that has been doing the dance and like do the practices together. My wife, rightfully so, was like, look, you're not quitting just because it's hard, like all the things that you would normally say. And so anyway, my daughter goes upstairs and calls this friend, and they end up doing this dance together, like on WhatsApp. And within a matter of an hour and a half, thereabouts, she's calling me and Fanny into the room to see how much better she's gotten at this dance. This is 2 days, less than 48 hours from the time that we were like, I'm never going there. I'm fucking done. It's over. To then the entire rest of the week practicing nonstop. Like yesterday, she was showing it to me. She was showing it to my wife. She was dancing with shoes, without shoes, doing it in this room, in that room. Like, and you can see this life of excitement that kind of like imbued in her. She has her next class today, so we'll see how today goes. But again, like, and I'm watching this all unfold, and somehow on her own, through whatever was supposed to happen, she managed to learn this incredibly powerful lesson about really hitting that wall of embarrassment and I'm not good enough and everything inside of you wants to scream to quit. And through giving her space, she completely turned it around to now finding joy in dance and like excitement in how far she's been able to come in literally less than a week, like a very, very short period of time. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, damn, that was really easy. Because everything inside of me wanted to get in there, wanted to like really get in there, right? Get messy, get involved, stick my nose in that business. And it's like the energy just said, no, don't do that. So that was one of the examples. Let me just read because I saw a few things, and usually one of us is reading, the other one's talking. So I'm kind of trying to do both. Are you feeling inspired by these podcasts? Is this approach striking a chord with you? Imagine taking this journey even further with personal coaching from Guy and I, right from your own home on Zoom. Join us at our next live event. They happen quarterly. It's an accessible, cost-effective way to dive deep into these transformative practices, not just theoretically, but experientially. Attendees often share that they've experienced unprecedented levels of peace, support, forgiveness, and awareness. Remember, healing isn't just a mental exercise. It must be felt and released through the body. So here's a special gift just for you, our valued listener. Visit intuitivemind.live and use the coupon code OLDSOUL to receive 25% off your ticket. The Intuitive Mind event is unlike any other. So impactful that many participants return multiple times, some as many as 10, 12, even 15 times. Plus, once you register, we'll immediately send you a recording of a previous event so that you can start practicing right away. Don't miss this opportunity. Go to intuitivemind.live, secure your spot for our next live event using the coupon code OLDSOUL, and start your transformative journey today. Now, back to the show. It says, when you and Guy explained how we can live doing this and use certain medications as a Band-Aid effect, for now, I accepted that I needed to use other medications to buy me time. I did many different meditations, asking the universe for help in multiple minis. Now my doctor and specialist freaked. My body accepted the new medication, and I'm no longer on the brink of having a stroke or heart. Wow. They could not believe how fast things changed. So thanks also for your words on this. Wow. That's incredible. Yeah. What Zen's pointing to is I'm a firm believer. I can't back this by science, but enough anecdotal evidence of personal experience and, tens of thousands of other people. Our energetic makeup, specifically, I will say, streaming and stemming from the nervous system, runs everything in our body. People think that this is it, but now they have studies like the gut is actually the first brain, and this is just responding to it. So what's happening in our nervous system literally controls the body. It is the first response, it is the last response, and it is everything in between. So hearing something like this, where it's like all of a sudden when your body energetically can relinquish something, release the hold on something, allow for something new, it adjusts. I mean, we've had clients who their back got straighter from terrible scoliosis by doing this work. We've had people that have epileptic seizures start doing our meditations and stop having epileptic seizures. We've had endless amount of people that quit medications, whether it's Adderall or anxiety medication or depression medication. All that stuff, it's not helping. It's literally masking. It's like the avoidance pattern of being able to heal. And so when we can get into a state of acceptance and allowing with our body, and you release that friction and that fight, then guess what? Your body knows, because it's connected to this universal energy. It knows what intuitively needs to happen. And it's always trying to go to homeostasis. So if we give it time, this is exactly what I'm pointing to. If we give it time and space, it will just take care of itself. So then fast forward. So that was I'm sitting there and I'm literally in awe of what transpired in a span of 2 days without me doing shit. It was just kind of this person showed up, and then this person showed up, and then all this stuff just started to work. So I was like, wow, that's amazing. Then fast forward a few days, I was doing something outside and something got in my eye. And so I went to the bathroom, I flushed it out, and it was okay. Then I finished and my eye kept irritating. So I really thought what I thought happened was I thought a piece of metal, literally because I was squeezing on some metal, I thought a piece of metal just shot into my right eye. And I thought I flushed it out. And then throughout the day, I just figured I scratched it somehow and I was having this pain. Anyway, we go to my son's, we did a birthday party for him at this golf range thing. And I'm driving a bunch of kids to this thing and my eye is just in so much pain, my right eye. It's hard to keep it open. It keeps tearing. It's very uncomfortable. And I'm sitting at this Top Golf place and I'm sitting there and I can't stop messing with my eye. And I go to the bathroom again. I try to flush it out again. Nothing, just still hurts. So I go to my wife. I was like, hey, babe, can you look in my eye? Just maybe there's something in there that you see. And I open my eye. She goes, yeah, it's right there. Like I can see this black speck on the color part of my eye, not on the white part, like on the color. And she can legit see it. I was like, really? So I go to the bathroom and I open it. I'm like, holy shit, like I can see it. So now I'm like trying to rinse it out again and use my finger. Like it won't budge. I go to the head people. I'm like, can I get a flush? Like they have these eye flushes. He didn't happen to have one, but he had the squeezy thing. So I'm back in the bathroom. I'm doing this and I come back and nothing's working. Nothing. So I sit there with my eyes closed. And again, same voice, same teacher, same awareness comes through and goes, this is out of your hands. This is how it's going to be. You just got to let go and you got to give it time. And I'm like, okay, I got you. I just get to surrender to this as the experience without trying to fix it or change it, just like everything else in life. And like when you have physical pain, it is the most daunting task to just let go to the physical pain because everything inside you is screaming and everything else wants to make it stop and stop and stop and stop and stop. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, you need time. And I'm okay. I'm just going to let this go. And I sat there and I went into this like meditation and I landed in this place of, it was even more than acceptance and surrender. It was almost like it was a gratitude for the intuition and specifically in this case, the intuition of my body and how it knows and has its own timing, its own ability to heal, release, do all the things. And I was like, okay, I fully surrender. And in this moment, some information just drops in, like out of nowhere. You know, when you like just this down, I call them downloads, this thing just like lands in your lap and you're like, holy crap, how did I not think of that? And the reason you can't think of it is because when you're in these states of hyper fix mode, you just blocked everything off. You're just in your own little world with your own little medullary part, and that's the only thing you have access to. So you've fully disconnected from resource, from source, from wisdom, from inspiration. Everything's gone. You're just kind of in this head down mode. So I literally, like, I'm doing this meditation. I get to this place of gratitude and this piece comes through and there's my parents' son just moved like across the street from where I live in a different community. And he happens to be an ophthalmologist. Now we played tennis maybe once, like whatever it was, 6 months ago, 8 months ago, but like we haven't really kept in touch. But all of a sudden, like he pops into my awareness and they're like, contact him. And I was like, that sounds like a brilliant idea. I will text this guy. So I text him. Within 15 minutes, he texts me back. He's like, hey, I'm driving. Just give me a buzz. I call him. I tell him the whole situation. He's like, look, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to prescribe you this ointment. Put it in 4 times a day because either you have something in your eye, and if you have something in your eye, this kind of like helps it move naturally. Or if it's just a scratch, it will help it to make sure that it doesn't get worse or get infected or whatever it is. And he's like, and if by Monday morning you still are in pain and you have it, like my office is right down the road from us, come in at 8 in the morning and I'll take care of it then. Now, as soon as I received that information, because one of the things that I forgot to tell you guys, I read in the phone, I was like trying to figure out how to get rid of this thing. And everyone's like, if it's in the white part, you do this, this, and this. If it's in the iris part, if it's in the color part, seek immediate medical attention. And when that hit, can imagine my whole system would just went haywire. I was like, holy shit, this is serious, right? And then your head is spinning like, am I going to lose my eyesight? Like it just goes a million things. And that's when I went into the meditation because I was like, I'm not going down this path, right? So the meditation, call him, he sets us up. I go, I pick up the medication, and my eye at this point, guys, like, I don't know if you like ear, nose, throat, eye, like I think this whole thing is connected. My eye is running so much and I can't keep it open that like my nose is running from like all that pain. So it's just this whole thing, like whole side of my face hurts. I'm starting to get a headache. I get this thing, and right away, I don't even wait till I get home. Like right away in the car, I like do my first thing. I put it in my eye, and instantly my eye goes on fire. It doesn't help. It doesn't feel good. It literally feels like someone put like burning hot searing pain in my eye. And I'm like, holy shit, this is supposed to fucking help. Like, and now it's just tearing and I can't open my eye because it's sticky and and I'm like, oh my God, what did I just do? Blah, blah, blah. And then again, the voice is like, trust, time, trust. This is it. And I don't know if you guys have seen Fight Club when there's that scene where he like kisses his hand and he has that reaction because he pours that thing on him and his hand just starts burning and he hits him. He's like, don't go into your cave. Be here. This is your pain. This is your burning. This is your searing. Be here now. And that's what I kind of just had this scene. I was like, don't go anywhere. Like, this is it. This is the experience. Burning, searing eye. Like, this is it. Be with this. And so I'm sitting there and I'm being with this. And so for the rest of the night, this was probably at like 6:30. I can't even open my eye. Like I'm talking to my family. I can't open my eye. I can't do anything. And it's just so painful. My eyes uncontrollably tearing. Every time I open it, it hurts. Closing it hurts. Like all of it hurts. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, okay. And what I know, and this is what John gave me, like on that call, which at least maybe like relax my system to some respect. He was like, look, worst comes to worst. If it's still around by Monday morning, it's out. So in my head, I already had kind of like an end time. I'm like, okay, if it gets to like I can suffer, but there's like an end in sight suffering. You know what I mean? So it's just like, let it go. Just, this is what needs to happen. So I'm sitting there and now it's like 11 o'clock at night and I'm going to go do the next dose before I go to bed. And as I'm in the bathroom, I just like say this prayer internally. I'm like, okay, body, I know you have this incredible healing ability. And while I sleep and I give you this medicine, please, please, please take care of this while I sleep so that I can wake up tomorrow and feel back to normal. And with that, I go to wash my face. And I go to wash my face, and I don't even know that my eyes were honestly open, but like I put water on my face, I go like this, and as I come up and open my eye, I'm like, oh my God. Like I could blink, I can open my eye. Like it was the first time like it felt normal, and I'm like, I think this thing just came out. Like it was. So I go to my wife, I'm like, baby, can you look? Like I think it came out. She didn't even have to look. She's like, oh, it came out. It's right here. She goes, I can see it in the tear that you have on the side of your face. And because we both saw it like so clearly in my eye, like we could see it was that black dot. I'm elated. Like I ended up putting the cream and going to bed at night, and I woke up the next morning and I was literally completely fine. And again, all because this thing that keeps showing up, which is let go. I got you. Surrender. Time will take care of itself. Your body, your relationships, the circumstances, everything can handle itself. But if you get in there on that first wave and you're trying to mess with it, you're actually stopping the flow. And you notice like I was trying to do all these things. Nothing was working. And it was in the moment of just relax, meditate, release. This is my experience. Can I be with this experience fully? It was in that moment of fully surrendering to the experience that piece of John came through. I wouldn't have thought of that on my own. Like the guy, I don't even know the guy. It wouldn't even cross my mind, right? But like something, that's what I'm saying. Like this thing is so interconnected to so many pieces that it knows way more than we do. But our addiction to fixing and getting out of certain situations immediately, and we get angry and frustrated and we get involved and we get, that's what actually slows the whole thing down. If instead you got okay with, this is going to take a day, a week, a month, and I know that if I just give it enough space and time, it gets handled. I can't tell you how many people go through our level 2 program and just the first module of level 2. And we give them that thing, just notice the meddler and stop meddling. And people every single time report the most magical things. This thing in the relationship that they've been trying to figure out all of a sudden solved itself. A house that wouldn't sell for months and months and months, all of a sudden sold during this one moment. It's incredible. What we don't have, though, is we don't have trust in being held and supported. Because for most of us, the history is that we have been let down, we have been disappointed, we have been hurt, we have not been supported. And so our system is wired in a very specific way to refute that. And so this work, everything that we do here, again, from like the most introductory of things, which is like our 2-day event where you can come and experience this for yourself, that's the work. And as you continue to do that work, and as you continue to sit with a practitioner, right, in a one-on-one situation, as you continue to show up in group setting and receive that medicine, as you continue to do like the mini practices that we do and the meditations that we offer, what you're in essence doing is you're constantly opening up your system to trust and receive that wisdom more and more and more. And when you begin to act on the information that comes through, it starts to come clearer and clearer and faster and faster. And so what I want to leave you here today with is this. Yeah, surf the waves, ride the ride. Exactly. Like this whole thing is surfing waves. Literally, the entire experience is surfing waves. And what I keep telling people is, guys, there's no program on the planet. There's no teacher on the planet. There's no book on the planet. There's no video on the planet. There's no podcast on the planet that's going to stop the waves from coming at you. There's not. You're never going to earn enough money or be at the right job or be in a relationship or have your health in order in such a way that the waves stop coming. They're always coming. And if you can notice in my story, like that was just 2 of the examples. There's like 6 others that I can share with you, right? The waves keep coming. You are an expanding being. The people in your life are also constantly expanding. We are literally hurtling through space on an expanding universe, right? Like we're constantly expanding. So as you expand, the waves are going to keep coming. There's no way to like get off of that ride. So to me, I always go back to this. If the waves are going to keep coming, no matter what you do, then wouldn't it make sense to invest your time, energy, and money to learn how to ride those waves? Because what most people do is they stand at the edge of the water and they go, no wave, I don't like you, stop coming. And then the wave just pummels you and you eat sand and salty water and now shit's coming out of your nose. And by the time you get up, the next one comes and pummels you down again. And you're like, why is this happening to me? It's not about that. It's about learning to ride the wave. And you know what? This is what I told someone the other day. Like when you first, I don't know if I've only surfboarded, I think like twice, maybe 3 times. Very little, right? I'm a terrible surfer. But I managed to get up. Like the first time I rode, I got up. I was on the whitewater part, right? And by the second or third wave, I got up and the people were like, oh my God. My wife was like, obviously you would do this. Like, so then I was like, okay, I can do this. So then I went past that break part and I was like, okay, let's go ride waves. And you know what? Those were probably like 4-foot waves. And all of a sudden, the same thing that I was doing on a little wave, which felt easy and like, oh, I can stand, all of a sudden became terrifying. Because now as this thing's building and I'm looking down, I'm like, holy shit, I'm going to die. But if you think about it from a methodology standpoint and a practice, I'm literally doing the same thing. So in life, it's very similar. It's like the waves that you can handle when you first start are going to be small. You're not going to be able to energetically ride large waves right from the get-go. You practice on the smaller ones, right? Then that capacity grows. You have more safety in your system, more ability to receive resource, more ability to receive support, more stability in the nervous system, right? And then the next wave comes, and that wave is going to scare the nervous system, right? And now you're learning to ride a bigger wave. And guess what? That ups your capacity to be able to be with more. So here I am 8 years down the road, and like a lot of stuff that I used to meddle with or get in there with that would exacerbate for a long period of time and impact my health and my relationship and all these different things. I'm being shown right now, 8 years later, doing the same exact process. I haven't learned anything new. No one sat with me and was like, oh, Elon, this is same thing. But all of a sudden, this new experiential learning is hitting me. And some of you may have even heard me share about things like this, but somehow this feels so different. Because there's a big difference between reading something in a book and having the knowledge of it versus having something in the cells of your body through the experience of that thing. These are two wildly different things. I, for one, played the knowledge game for a long time. And while it's great to be knowledgeable, it makes you feel really smart and you sound really good at dinner parties. When it comes to the long-lasting effects in your relationships, in your health, in your finances, in your career, in all the areas that matter to you, like the well-being and peace and inner peace of yourself, I can honestly say they didn't really last. I had blips and then it would dissipate and then I would go on a chase, finding the next thing, and that would work for a little bit and then that would dissipate and I would be on this yo-yo ride. And it was fucking exhausting. I don't know about your experience. It's exhausting. Versus now, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in knowledge. Because what I'm clear about is if it's not your as lived here experience, it's not yours. You know, someone who has not experienced loss or grief, they can talk about it. They've read about it. They've watched movies about it. But if that hasn't been your experience yet, then that's not yours. You don't know what that other person is going through. You don't know what it takes to find reconnection and stability again through that kind of wave. For me, I've not only learned to ride the waves in my own life, but for me and our coaches and people in the level 3 program, for example, like the more advanced stuff, we not only gave it to ourselves, we're now supporting others and giving it to them. And that creates a whole different level of mastery. Because now that experiential learning is being transmitted to others. And in doing that, it almost strengthens and embodies your experience even deeper. Because now, in order to share that experience from a transmission, not from an ideas, but a transition place, it really grounds it into your system. And so ultimately, that's what this is. This isn't a journey to fix every problem in your life. Like, there's no one out there that can fix every problem in your life. And if they tell you that they can, please do me a favor. Run the fucking other way. It does not exist. If someone tells you that they've figured out all the things to life, run the other way, because they are lying to you. I hope you can hear in my shares, like, look, I've done a lot of work. I have done a lot of work. This stuff keeps coming. I got a 13-year-old and 11-year-old, like, they're going through their things right now, right? Which I've never been through as someone goes into puberty and becomes a teenager. Like, this is my first rodeo. I've read books. They don't really help. It's like being in the experience, though. It's like, oh, this is it, right? And it's like fine-tuning. That's the experience. I run a business. I'm an entrepreneur. Like, the highs and lows of being an entrepreneur, I can't even begin to explain to you. And I'm clear. That's just what life looks like on this plane. So I've gotten really good, really, really good, masterful even, at learning how to ride these waves with love, acceptance, and gratitude. And that's not easy. I know I'm sharing it like it's not easy. It is commitment, and it is the right practice. You're committed, but you're doing the wrong practices. You got no shot at this, right? So the three pillars that we talk about is, one, get out of your mind into the spaciousness. Out of your mind into the body. That's pillar number one. You can't do that. If you live up here, you got no shot at this. Pillar number two is you can't do this alone. You have to have the connection with other. The only way we get this new medicine is through mirror neurons. You can't read, the body keeps the score, for example, and I figured out how to upgrade my nervous system. No, not at all. The only way your nervous system gets this information is through experience and template. Okay, that's two. Number three, if you want this to last forever, you have to build a dream team of people around you that you can continuously sit with to ride these waves together. Because 85% of the time, you'll be able to do this on your own. Like, you'll get your nervous system to this resiliency where you will be able to do that. But the 15%, which are coming, you will not have enough resource to move through on your own. You just will not. And for that, you need the dream team. You need the people that you can connect with. And if you got those three things, you will never have to invest in another program for as long as you live. You can if there's something interesting to you, but as far as a practice is concerned, this is it. Like, you really don't need more than that. Connection is what helps our nervous system find that balance and stability. And when we can't find it ourselves, it doesn't mean that there's something wrong or broken with us. All it means is that we at this moment do not have the capacity and the resource to bring that stability back. And so if I've opened up my system enough to be able to receive that support from other, then guess what? Then together we bring that stability. And in doing that, you actually strengthen your ability. So now you can ride bigger waves on your own. And that's it. That's the invitation here. Always. The door for you is always open when you're ready to stop meddling and actually start doing this work. So I want to let you guys know that we have a live event coming up at the end, in the middle of September. So September 14th, 15th. If you have not come to one of those, mark your calendar right now. I'll give you the link. Go buy yourself a ticket. Let me see if we have anything in here. Okay, I think that should be there. I might not, I don't know if I did that right. I don't know if you guys can see that. but I think it's under offers. There's a 25% discount. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So you guys can grab that there. And again, when you buy that ticket, you can even bring a friend. So, like you and someone that has not been to the event, you can bring them as well. So it's like a buy one, give one, which is always great because I love doing this work with others. And yeah, I hope this was valuable. Let me just see. Let me read here. Yeah. So Jocelyn, look, like that's where you're pointing to, right? The panic attack right. So that's what I'm pointing to is like, if we stay in that state, it's really difficult. Like something's not going to show up to like make all that go away. Really, instead of trying to solve the problem, it's like, hey, can you actually do the practices to find stability and surrender to that feeling of the panic attack, to the feeling of like not being able to breathe? That's where you want to start with. Okay, Jocelyn, I saw your private message. I don't know that I saw your message. In any case, if you want, just message me. Also email me, Ilan, ILAN, @satoriprime.com. And that way, because sometimes the messages on Facebook, but I'll go check the messages on Facebook as well. We had fun evening looking for lost keys. Yeah, that's awesome, Zoe. Yeah, that's the other thing that I play with. It's like when I find myself in that energy, you can start to see how other people's fall into that energy. And that's the beauty. That's why I said it's transmission based. Oh, shit, surfer. Yeah, me too. I used to boogie board as a kid as well. Yeah. So Karen's saying accepting the waves will keep coming is so helpful for me. Yeah, guys, like there's no way out. The only way out is death. But then guess what? Like, at least for my belief, like we come back here and we do it all over again. So yeah, learn to ride. It makes life so much easier. Yes, our teachers are definitely our teachers for sure. Yeah, beautiful. That's awesome. I'm very, very happy. And yes, Carol's asking, isn't the live event included in level 1? Yes, when you purchase a level 1 ticket, we give you one as a bonus. For people in level 2, you actually get 2 tickets as a bonus. For people in level 3, you get access to all the live events when you're in there. So yes, these live events are part of your training. That's why we offer it to you guys. It's really, really important that you guys show up to these. And each time they're just so different. You guys are very welcome. Yes, it's on Zoom, John. So you could do it from the comfort of your own home. It's September 14th and 15th, basically from 11:30 a.m. Eastern till about 6 p.m. Eastern. So you need to figure out wherever time zone you're in. Okay. Beautiful. Guys, thank you for being here. I hope this was valuable. And if there's anything that we can do, please don't hesitate to reach out. John, if you have any other questions, you guys can reach out to me, Elon at satoriprime.com, or you can reach out to our support team, which is support@satoriprime.com. We're definitely here for you. Okay. Love you guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Thank you, dear one, for choosing to share a bit of your day with us. We value you greatly. And as a way to give back and help you to deepen these practices, we want to invite you to join our incredible community on Facebook. You can do so easily by going to joinoldsouls.com and ask for an invite. This is our private community where old souls and seekers are able to grow and share their journey with others. We hold exclusive weekly live streams, we answer your personal questions, and offer valuable insights that we won't be able to share here on the podcast. So again, just head to joinoldsouls.com and grab your invite today. And as always, if you enjoy this podcast, please head to iTunes and leave us a review. It's the only way other people can find this show. So if it's making a difference in your life, please share the love. Until we meet again, have an amazing week, dear one.